What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, we're going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and show you guys what the technicals are showing. I'm going to talk about what's going on with the market and whether or not we're actually in a bear market, and also what NIO put on their Twitter page that's breaking news and makes me very excited. Now, before I break any of this down, before I talk about why I'm still quite bullish for NIO for the long term and also what I expect to be happening for the short term, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. Now, you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some NIO shares for free. This is a limited time offer that ends in just 2 weeks, so please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, okay, we're down about 1.32% for the day. Overall, we didn't have the worst day possible, but it wasn't necessarily a perfect day because you could see, if we go down to what the NASDAQ ended up doing, we could see NIO kind of followed it, and so did the SPY. If you look at the NASDAQ, okay, we dropped pretty darn hard all the way down to 11,000. Then we got a nice push up, and we actually ended up closing down 0.3%. Now, if you look at the SPY, very similar story. The SPY got rug pulled today. We went from being in the mid 390s, low 390s, all the way down to 380. Then we managed to actually push all the way up to 389, closing up barely up 0.04%. So we did have a green day. To our surprise, that was incredible. And we dropped really darn hard. But the crazy thing about that is because we dropped below that 385, 384 range, we entered bear market territory because that's the 20% retracement from our all-time high. Okay? So we did enter, right, bear market territory. And when that happened was we essentially touched it, then bounced out, and the news was kind of going nuts over that. Stocks closed flat in wild session. Friday, that saw the S&P 500 briefly fall into bear market. So it happened, and it may lead to some fear. So for NIO, what happened was NIO gets pushed down with the whole market. The SPY was down, Tesla was down, the VIX was up, of course, because it's inversely related to us. Roblox was down, everything was down, getting pushed down really darn hard. What happened was we got a bounce. NIO bounced off 1568, and we actually pushed up, and we actually got stopped exactly where I drew out our resistance levels from my previous video. And what happened was, after we managed to push out of this, after the market kind of flipped for the last hour and a half, we ended up down 1.32%, which in my opinion is a pretty good sign because when the market is really red, okay, NIO used to be down like 5%, 6%, 10%. We're barely down 1.32%. So we held up a lot better than many people would have anticipated. And we are kind of holding onto these support regions with much more security and more confidently. So things are improving. Now, why was I so bullish for today? And that ended up not happening. I do have to say, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, the market doesn't always do what we predict. NIO was successfully listed. It listed its Class A ordinary shares on the main board of the Singapore Exchange under the ticker symbol or stock code NIO or NIO, making NIO the first auto company listed on 3 exchanges, the first Chinese company listed in New York, Hong Kong, and Singapore. So, congratulations to them. I'm very excited for what the company is doing. And to me, this is what I think is going to happen. So for us to look at this, I want to actually zoom out. I'm going to use the 2-hour candles. Check this out. This is what the trend has been showing. Let's just start about this upward trend. We are starting to respect this upward trend, kind of pushing up, and we do have this kind of like double bottom-like formation. So I do expect a bit of a push-up coming out for NIO quite soon. If you look at the SPY real quick, check this out. What does the SPY tend to do when it drops? It has a tendency of doing this. It drops, pushes up, drops, pushes up, drops, pushes up, dropped really hard, pushed up, dropped pretty darn hard, pushed up a little bit. So we might see a slight push up on the SPY followed by more downside a little bit later. So, with that said, the market might get a slight push up after we have good pieces of news like this. Hopefully, a nice bounce by Monday. And I think NIO should get some good moves too. So, if you look at this on the daily candles, it held up quite well. But also, when you zoom out, let me zoom out like this. Check this out. Actually, I think I should use, hold on, 5 minute candles. I think that would be better. Look at this very clear double bottom that formed. Push up, double bottom. It's showing that it wants to perhaps come back to this range. I do think we're going to test 17 bucks again. That may be the place where we end up getting a bit of a rejection. So I do expect us to come back into this range for Monday. Maybe we'll drop if the market drops a little bit, but if not, we could actually push a little bit higher than 17. So that's essentially what I'm seeing. Things are looking all right for NIO. We got that 1348 EMA crossover. We were actually ending above the 200 moving average, which is a pretty darn good sign. And then if you look at other indicators, okay, on the 5 minute, we got a push up at the very end. OBV curling, RSI curling. On the 2 hour time frame, we had a bit of a crossover from the MACD and the 9-day moving average, our signal line, kind of going back and forth. So we're not necessarily on a big downward trend just yet. OBV a little bit down. It's kind of sideways right now. RSI also in the same picture. So we're not necessarily on a downward trend for NIO. We're kind of trading sideways right now, which is why I do think where we move depends on the market. We're probably going to get a push up or rejection off 17 and trade sideways in this range. And if the market keeps going, we could push a little higher. If not, we could drop. So we'll have to wait and see. I am a little bit more on the bullish side for SPY on Monday after that big day we had. And hopefully we get some good, moves. With that said and done, I wanted to just remind you all of one thing, okay? The last thing I want to say is the fact that there are going to be times in your life where things don't always go right. There are going to be times where NIO takes hits, just like the entire market, the SPY right now, Tesla, the NASDAQ. Hits will come, hardships will come, but it's not about how much they can hurt you. It's not about how much you lose. You only lose when you sell. It's about what could you do to improve. Are you going to be buying these dips, taking advantage of these opportunities? Are you going to learn to trade? Are you going to scalp? The choice is yours. The opportunity is still there. You could create wealth with the market, essentially. It's going to require education, commitment, perseverance. And to see gains in this market, it's going to take time. It's a progress. It's going to take time to progress. So for NIO, look at this as an opportunity to buy these dips and get ready for Monday. With that said, enjoy your weekend, stay strong, and never, ever quit. Thank you, and peace out.